Hello guys, welcome back to another video of Science and Social Lab. Today what we're going to see is about wind and storm. So let's get started. A natural disaster or activity or calamity can severely impact us as it could lead to loss of lives, disrupts normal activities and damage the economy of a country. Wind blowing at a very high speed can wreak havoc on the people caught in them and on the environment. In this chapter, we will study about wind, types of wind, and various hazards caused by it. Air pressure. Tires and balloons are made up of elastic materials that can expand when air or gas is pumped into them. When air is pumped into tires, the pressure exerted by the air inside the tires keeps them inflated and enables them to carry the vehicle. Similarly, the pressure exerted by the air keeps the balloons inflated. The pressure exerted by air is called air pressure. Air exerts pressure in all directions and on all objects. The pressure exerted by air depends on temperature and altitude. Atmosphere of the Earth. The Earth is surrounded by an envelope of air called the atmosphere. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the Earth due to the weight of the air. This is known as the atmospheric pressure. We are living in the lowest layer of the atmosphere, where atmospheric pressure is the maximum. Atmospheric pressure decreases with altitude. The magnitude of the atmospheric pressure on top of a mountain is less than the pressure at sea level. Wind and formation of wind. The flow of air in the atmosphere of the earth is called wind. When air on the surface of the earth is heated by the sun, it expands and rises up, creating a low pressure region below. Air from the nearby high pressure regions flows into these low pressure regions and causes wind. The hot air that rises up cools and sinks down. This continues and a cycle of airflow is formed, which is called the wind current. High speed wind reduces the pressure. Wind flowing over a region reduces the air pressure in that particular region. The more the speed of the wind, the lower will be the pressure. This interesting fact was observed by Swiss mathematician Daniel Bernoulli. Why are winds formed? Wind currents are formed due to the uneven heating of the Earth's surface between the equator and the poles. The equatorial regions receive more sunlight compared to the polar regions. Therefore, the air near the Earth's surface in the equatorial regions gets heated and rises up. This process creates low pressure regions. Cold air from the high pressure regions on either sides of the equator up to the latitude of 30 degrees flows into the low pressure regions near the equator. The warm air which rises up cools and sinks down in the regions of latitude nearly 30 degrees north and south of the equator. As the cool air sinks, this area becomes a high pressure region. Once again, wind flows from these high pressure regions to the equatorial and polar regions. As the wind flows towards the poles, at regions of latitude around 60 degrees from the equator, it meets the cold air from the poles and rises up, creating low pressure regions in these areas. The cold air from the polar region flows again towards these low pressure regions. Due to the effect of rotation of the earth, the wind flowing in the northern hemisphere of the earth bends towards its right and the wind in the southern hemisphere bends towards its left. This is due to the origin of a force called the Coriolis Force caused by the rotation of earth about its own axis. The direction of the Coriolis force in the northern hemisphere is towards right and in the southern hemisphere is towards the left. Wind speed and direction. The wind speed is the rate of flow of wind in the atmosphere of the earth. It is commonly measured using a device called anemometer and expressed in km per hour. The commonly used anemometer is a cup anemometer. It has 4 cups hoisted on a vertical pole at its right angles to each other. When the wind blows, the wind presses on the inner side of the cup, rotating it. The speed with which rotates depends on the speed of the wind. The direction of wind is determined by the direction from which the wind originates. Wind direction is found by using devices such as the wind vane and a windsock. The wind vane consists of an arrow hoisted on a vertical rod or a pole that can rotate. The rare part of with the more force. This causes the wind vane to align in such a way that the pointed part of the arrows always faces the direction of the wind. So that's it for today's video, guys. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. See you later. Bye.